Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Starship inaugural launch less than perfect. Parking tab for An-124 stranded at YYZ tops $330,000. AEA new product introductions and more to be livecast next week. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Starship inaugural launch less than perfect. Starship flew for a bit. The 33 Raptor engines of SpaceX's Super Heavy first-stage booster fired as one, filling the Boca Chica morning with the din and fiery fury of cryogenic liquid methane and oxygen combusting under 790 atmospheres. For several impossibly long seconds, the great rocket, stacked stage upon stage to its imposing 230-foot height, remained motionless atop 17 million pounds force of thrust. Starship cleared the launch pad tower. The vehicle gathered speed despite the failure of several first-stage Raptor engines. At approximately 1 minute 8 seconds after liftoff, intermittent plumes of flame were observed within Starship's otherwise stable thrust column. 1 minute 20 seconds into the flight at an altitude of flight level 300 and a speed of 460 knots, Starship passed successfully through max Q. 2 minutes after liftoff, as Starship neared first stage separation, a pronounced jet of flame erupted from the spacecraft's thrust column. 3 minutes 4 seconds after liftoff, the Starship started flipping. 3 minutes 50 seconds into Starship's first orbital launch attempt, commentators conceded, quote, "This does not appear to be a nominal situation," end quote. 9 seconds later, at an altitude of 95,144 feet and a velocity of 1,149 knots, Starship exploded as the flight was terminated. Nonetheless, CEO Elon Musk congratulated his launch team, stating, quote, "Learned a lot for next test launch in a few months," end quote. Coming up after the break, Sikorsky to forgo future protests of FLRAA contract award.
Unbridled passion, unequaled performance, unlimited possibilities.
Hartzell Aviation, you are cleared for takeoff.
Introducing Hartzell Aviation, leading general aviation companies united by the Hartzell guiding principle of built on honor. A commitment to uphold the highest standards in quality, performance, and support. Hartzell Propeller, Hartzell Engine Tech, Hartzell Aerospace Welding. We are Hartzell Aviation.
Now boarding at hartzellaviation.com.
Throughout the globe, Piper Aircraft has hand-selected the very best in company representation, service, and support. From first inquiry to acquisition to product support, Piper Aircraft ownership is seamless and worry-free. Piper Aircraft authorized dealers, factory trained, factory connected.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Sikorsky to forgo future protests of FLRAA contract award. Sikorsky has stated they harbor no intentions of filing a lawsuit protesting Bell Helicopter's receipt of the potentially $7 billion FLRAA contract. The joint Sikorsky-Lockheed Martin announcement follows the release of U.S. Government Accountability Office documents detailing what the Army called, quote, "an unacceptable risk," end quote, vis-a-vis costs and delays likely to be incurred integrating new systems with the aircraft design jointly proposed by Sikorsky and Boeing. Dair's Kodiak 900 granted EASA type certification. Dair announced that its Kodiak 900 turboprop utility aircraft had been granted type certification by the European Aviation Safety Agency. The newly earned certification enables Dair to commence Kodiak 900 deliveries within the EU. U.S. certification for the Kodiak 900 was granted by the FAA in 2022. NTSB releases incident report that caused AA-5 SB. An investigation report about an American AA-5 has been released, describing a crippled left elevator that collapsed from its outboard support assembly. An instruction flight proceeded normally until, quote, "the airplane began shaking violently and loudly. The control yoke was also shaking violently left, right, fore, and aft, and the airplane was pitching up and down," end quote. The instructor declared an emergency, hearing from a nearby aircraft that the AA-5's elevator was flapping in the wind. The CFI managed to bring it home safely, though the aircraft incurred a nose gear collapse upon landing. Natilus flies blended wing body prototype. Nautilus has successfully completed multiple flights of a subscale prototype of its Kona regional aircraft. The company has drawn one tangible step nearer its objective of wholly doing away with the piloting profession, for humans anyway. The subscale prototype of the Nautilus's Kona aircraft took off from a private runway in Southern California and reached speeds of 61 knots. To date, stability has been among the key challenges of the BWB design. The test flights, however, established that Nautilus's BWB aircraft configuration is capable of flying in the absence of complex autopilot systems. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Parking tab for An-124 stranded at YYZ tops $330,000. The Toronto Pearson International Airport, YYZ, is charging a stranded Antonov An-124 cargo aircraft an exorbitant parking fee of nearly 1 penny per second. The 226-foot-long cargo plane has been stuck at YYZ since Canada closed its airspace to Russian-owned aircraft on February 27, 2022. Finding parking for the mammoth aircraft, one of only 26 left in the world, was a relatively simple matter. Liberating it has proved anything but. Notwithstanding the inconvenient fact that the stranded An-124 and its owners have no ties to Moscow, a spokeswoman for Canada's Transportation Ministry stated unequivocally that the country's parliament has no immediate intentions of lifting the restrictions by which the aircraft is constrained to remain, languishing, disused, and moldering on Canadian soil. The An-124 is parked near YYZ's Eastfield boundary upon one of the few stretches of the airport's ramp sturdy enough to support its tremendous bulk. Parking fees, which last year increased from 55 to 58 cents per minute, currently total north of $330,000. The Canadian government has repeatedly denied Volga Nepper's request to allow a small contingent of its mechanics to service the stranded Antonov, which is badly in need of sustaining maintenance after the fashion of an automobile left over long to idleness and the elements. We will keep you updated. And after these messages, AEA new product introductions and more to be livecast next week.
Skyleader Aircraft offers a lineup of the most powerful, durable, and efficient light sport aircraft in the industry. From trainers to roomy cockpits for long hauls, Skyleader has an aircraft for you. And the best part? They're in your budget. Skyleader's base prices are set low to give you room to customize your aircraft to your needs, desires, and wallet, allowing you to put your money where it matters to you most. Visit flyskyleader.com today to learn about our aircraft, customization options, and chat with the team.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
Welcome back. AEA new product introductions and more to be livecast next week. Shortly after the ANN and Airborne Live crews flooded the aviation world with over 24 major news announcements at the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo with the Sun and Fun Innovation Preview, we're getting ready to shake up the avionics world for the 15th year in a row with over 30 new product introductions as part of our valued partnership with the Aircraft Electronics Association. From April 24th through the 26th, ANN will be livecasting at least a dozen hours of live avionics news and information from the floors of the AEA Convention and Trade Show in Orlando. The excitement starts on day 1, April 24th at 8:30 Eastern, and the opening sessions of the show, followed by the ever-exciting NPI presentations, which should be done by shortly after noon. Several hours of in-depth live interviews are scheduled from the convention floor on day 2 and day 3, with the Tuesday programming starting at 1300 Eastern and Wednesday starting at 1100 Eastern. All of our live programs can be found at airborne-live.net. We look forward to showing you the latest new avionics innovations from AEA 23. We promise it will be exciting. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.